Hello, today we'll be talking about how the owners and the GCs agreed to the contract of a 14-story building that is located in the heart of Urban Center. So my part was the project management side. So at first, the general contractor wanted just one construction manager on the job, but the owners pushed back and argued for two because they didn't want the project to fall behind. After going back and forth, they ended up settling on having one construction manager plus a project executive. As a part of the deal, the owners agreed not to have their own representative to do final inspections. To make up for it, the owners will still get regular weekly visits to the site so that they can keep track of what's going on without having that extra manager. Pass it on to Justin.
All right, I was an owner when talking about the negotiations for LEED. So for the LEED certifications, we settled for silver, but the owners, we as owners, we wanted gold. Well, mainly we wanted platinum, but we would settle for gold. But in order for us to get gold, the GC said that we had to have 50 million more in the total price of the contract, and also reduce the parking spaces as garage to get gold because it costs us more and there's more risk in order to achieve gold. But the owner wanted more efficient sustainability to raise rent, prices, and values of the property. However, since the owner didn't want to increase the prices, already went over the secured fundings of 525 million, we just settled for silver. Therefore, that's how we got LEED silver. Now I'll be passing it on to Kevin.
So I was also an owner in this project, and I'll be talking about the schedule. The demo start date is on July 1st, 2026, and the project completion date is December 31st, 2028. This gives enough time, about a year and a half, to complete some of the project on that is negotiated. So the owners negotiated to sign the liquidated damage clause for GC to have flexibility of start and end dates for demo and completion. In order to have signed the liquidated damages, there needs to be a stable and signed end dates so it can actually take place. The GC negotiated TI work to be guaranteed, but is not included in the completion date since it is a part of their own side. I'll be putting out Caesar.
I was a part of the owner side, and today I will be explaining our logic behind payment bonds, indemnity, and liquidated damages. So firstly, we decided that the owner and the general contractor would agree to a 100 million payment bond and a signed liquidated damage clause because the owner gave control to the project schedule, which is both the start and end dates for the project, directly to the GC. The GC is responsible for planning the timeline, coordinating labor, and managing all subcontractors. It would make sense that they should also carry the financial accountability tied to those responsibilities. So it would be like you're in charge of when the project starts and finishes, then you would also be kind of accountable if the things don't go as planned. And finally, we included a mutual indemnity provision, which basically means the owner and the GC agreed to protect each other from losses and claims because of their own actions. So the risks are shared fairly and each side remains accountable for their own mistakes. I'm gonna pass it on to Alexis.
So for this project, I was a GC, and I believe we were going back and forth on whatever we wanted our scope of work to be and what we agreed on. But ultimately, we were able to agree with the owners wanted a TI work guaranteed, so that way they could rely on the quality of all interior upgrades well whenever they're needed. The owners also required a signed liquidated damages clause to ensure accountability if the project does run late. And as the GCs to meet their needs, the owners specified 900 car parking spaces and 100 bicycle spaces in order to balance the convenience and have enough space for everyone that will be using the building. They also asked for two levels of underground parking along with multi-story parking garage to maximize the capacity and improve accessibility for everyone that will use this facility. And as a GC, we agreed upon covering the full expense of the Cultural Arts Community Center. So we are going to be covering the full expense of that building. And as part of our scope, we are also responsible for the demolition of the existing structures in the space of this building. And as well, we also negotiated for 400,000 square feet of commercial space within the project. And this was our scope of work that we all agreed on. Passing it on to Antonio.
Hello, I'm Antonio, and I was part of the general contracting team, and I'm going to be talking about the pricing. So we did settle on $575 million. That was 25 million less than what we wanted, but it was 50 million more than what the owners wanted to pay. The reason why we settled on this price was because the we did guarantee the owners a lot of really good amenities that they were able to use, and then I will talk about some of the major ones that influenced our price. So for the owners, we, like it was mentioned before, we are going to cover the cultural arts building at our own expense as well as the payment bond. And we did guarantee the garage parking, the 9-story garage parking, as well as signing the liquidated damages clause. And then something that we were able to obtain through this negotiation was that we will be able to build on our timeline, and we're not going to be including the TI in that schedule. We also negotiated to guarantee the TI to us, and as well as a silver lead. Another thing that was impacting our price a lot was instead of having 1 million square feet for commercial usage, we were able to negotiate it down to 400,000, as well as we were able to guarantee only 1 CM and 1 project executive in our project. And that was just some of the things that we negotiated in order to influence our final price. And then this is our final agreement form, and it has all of our signatures, and this is like I mentioned, what we all finally agreed upon. Thank you.